Oh, Lord. Exercise the ratchet parts of my soul. You have been warned. Content is explicit. Welcome. You are listening to Bewitched Banter, where two best friends,
one skeptical, looking at you, Ames,
and our resident believer or sucker, Krista.
Moi, yes, no sucker here. We talk about the universe's beauty
and what I would call magical thinking.
Or maybe some mysticism. But for real though, we talk about the spooky, the spiritual, some wacky religions, cults, and definitely the paranormal.
And I bring us back to Mother Earth and talk about how the science community is like, F all this shit.
She needs a chakra card reading, y'all. But I am down with Mother Earth.
So today we are covering exorcisms, but not only exorcisms. Really, I'm going to be focusing on how it's like the new hot thing. It's coming back in style.
Okay.
Coming to your hood. Buy one, get one free.
Exorcisms. No hats, no
It's
fitted.
coming your way. It's coming your way. Just be on the watch out.
Ladies.
But yes, so it's like the new hot thing. I wasn't aware of this until we stumbled across this article. But before we get into basically, I don't know how to describe it, like what crazy people do, let's hear about our crazy selves and our horoscopes.
Sure thing. You want to go first or you want me to?
You go first.
All right, so I'm going to read yours first. Gemini, what's in it store for our gem? Okay, you can expect... Jesus, I can't see. Hold up. My old ass needs to zoom in. Hold up. Sorry. I was squinting.
I was like, this is really big for... I can see it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot it blows up for you too. Okay. You can expect deep transformation of your everyday reality. Things are shifting, and these are unavoidable changes. Some of you may change your job. Bitch. What you been doing the last week?
I do have a lot of interviews coming up, so that's good news.
So yeah, you may change your job, your work, your workplace, and position. And because of this, your routines and habits, of course, change.
No shit, Sherlock.
Well, that's Amy's horoscope for October 21st from, again, Moon Omens on Instagram.
Well, I do have 3 interviews lined up.
See?
So channeling that good energy out there into the universe. We'll see what happens.
Fuck yeah, I'm so proud of you. She's been hustling, y'all, getting to higher vibrations, higher vibes on the job, sitch.
I don't know about vibrations. I guess I've just been working hard on trying to make the change.
Well, that's a different vibration, isn't it? I'd say. I'd argue.
I mean, whatever floats your boat. Okay, going on. Libra. You're learning how to get in tune with that natural rhythm and align with life so they can
Talking
improve
about
your
some
experience
hyper-rhythm.
of life and expand your vision, your mind, and your wisdom. You're ready to embrace the new and to release the old.
Well, you know what's funny? I think I told you this. I got this book. It's badass for letting go. And I got it at Changing Hands, which is a badass bookstore in Central Phoenix and Tempe. And I go there often after work just to get my grading done. And this book is badass because it's a meditation for every day. And again, it's just all about just letting go of the old shit because that's all I'm trying to do this year. Like, bye-bye. Adios.
Well, have you been... have you been doing it every single day?
I have. And as evidence, the meditation journal my aunt got me, my late Aunt Sandy. And it's really therapeutic, frankly. So I either do it every day when I wake up or right before I go to bed. And it just sets the intention and really helps me to focus on all the beauty around us that just really is and to be so thankful for what I have. My life is beautiful. My life is good. Like there isn't.
Wow, this is a change. This is a change of tune from last week. You're like, life is shitty. Life sucks.
I'm telling you,
emo.
Meditation works, man.
Damn. Sign Krista up for that.
Well, thank you also for getting me off my little negative boat because I was sinking a little bit there, and owe it to you for getting me the fuck off it and giving me a life raft. So
probably not the nicest way. I just called you a moron.
Listen, my sister and I were talking about this weekend, is that like her and I both thrive off of negative reinforcement, because that's just the way our dad raised us, was like, bah, move your ass, bah. And like my mom needs like nothing but positive. Like if you don't give her constant praise and adoration, like she won't do shit and she'll feel bad about herself. But like me and my sister, like we need to be like kicked in the ass to get going. So whatever works, it worked for me. So thanks, Coach James. Which, by the way, Corey, watch out. Big Rob's gunning for your production assistant intern job. So maybe we promote Corey to production assistant and Big Rob's intern. So
Corey can be fired. Let's be real.
Oh, no, he's helped us so much through this shit. But also, the reason Big Rob had to get my shit, y'all. Hold up. Y'all ready for this? Hold up. Let's see if I can lift it. Oh, I don't know if I can. Oh, yeah, baby.
Yes. So for everyone at home, Krista is you're in a boot and a cast?
Well, so what had happened was I stumbled upon another drag show. I think that's just, I attract them. I was on a shitty ass Bumblebee. The guy was lame as fuck. And original.
In what way?
He was just boring and so unengaging. Like, ugh. Like, thank you, next.
Ew, David. Ew. Can you be a little more engaging?
No, he was just, you know what? It wasn't a match. Good for him. He was nice enough, but it was like, no chemistry there. And that's cool. No harm, no foul. I did something new. It was my first date in Chicago, you know? Mm-hmm. Come to find out that I can have a hell of a fucking good time by myself, on my own, on the town, even though that meant maybe breaking my feet. Both feet, yes. Both feet. So I'm in a...
Totally worth it. Totally worth it, right?
Honestly, kind of. The drag show was absolutely stellar. Next level from Phoenix drag. Like, no shade to Phoenix drag, but just like, I don't know, Chicago, since it's a...
You haven't been to that many Phoenix shows to be dissing. Sorry, I'm calling you out.
I've been to a few.
How many? I've been to some really good ones.
Okay. Well, I'd love to... We're going to Allie's friends. I'm going hell or high water with these motherfucking booties. I don't give a shit. I'll make it chic. So... Anyway, I fell because in my head, I was on RuPaul's runway and I walked myself right the fuck off that runway, off a step. And here we are with a fractured left ankle and fractured right foot. So, yeah, my dream, as Amy said, is coming true. People are waiting on me hand and foot, and it's quite lovely. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Miss Princess here.
I know.
Well, we need to get the demons out of your broken ankle.
Yes, please. Let's get them the fuck out. Exercise these fractures.
Should we dive in, though, and learn about... I didn't go too much into exorcisms, like what they are, because I think that would be a whole different topic. And I think we all generally know what an exorcism is. But the definition is, it's a religious or spiritual practice of evicting demons or spiritual entities from a person or from an area that is believed to be possessed. Or sometimes people might feel like this when they blow up the toilet. Like they blew out some demons, right? Right? We've all been there. We can relate.
Who can relate?
Woo! But I'm mostly going to be focusing on what exorcism is from a Christian lens.
Okay.
Because the rise of like exorcisms being the new hot thing is mostly... happening in Christian dominant cultures.
Okay, so dumb question. Me, the Catholic, I thought it was only a Catholic thing. Other religions do them as well?
Yes, that was my next sentence. So
good to know.
There's different views and like how they practice exorcism or how they believe or what their belief in exorcism is. And it would range in from, which I think would be like eventually cool to cover each one. But there's Hinduism, Judaism, God, I can't talk. Taoism, Islam, and Sikhism. What? So lots of different religions have exorcisms. It's an ancient practice.
I had no idea. Again, with the Christian fucking Catholic blinders on. Holy shit.
Well, I think it predates the Catholic religion.
Oh shit. Well, okay.
It's an ancient practice.
Thank you. Did not know that.
Yeah, and I think it would be fascinating to kind of do like a hot take from around the world of what
who exercises best.
the idea of demons existing and that they're out to snatch your kids, hide your wife,
snatching your demons
around,
up.
Basically around since the concept of religion being born.
So like forever.
So it's been around forever because basically we know demons, the idea of an evil spirit, has been around forever too.
Mm-hmm.
In ancient Mesopotamia, told you I can't talk today.
You got this.
Babylonian priests perform exorcisms by casting wax figurines of demons into fire. So they throw them into the fire. And you can find writings. Or I don't know if we could personally find them because that might be hard.
Oh, you're an archaeologist now?
Yeah, I am.
Those are the jobs she's applying to for now. P.S.
Yeah, so while I'm job searching, I stumbled across ancient writings from the Hindu Vedas, which was written between 1500 and 500 BC, and then written ancient Greek writings, which I can read too.
Oh, okay. Oh, and she learned Greek overnight, y'all.
Yeah, I'm a master of all things now. Of all things, I think all of us could say most of our knowledge of what an exorcism is all stems from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge part of what really led to this trend of like exorcisms being on the rise.
So crazy. Sorry, you're probably going to get to it, but like on the rise as in like the last 5 years, 10 years, or?
I'll get to it. What really made it vogue, like cool as shit, was the spread of Pentecostal churches that preach about the conflict between demons and the Holy Spirit. So Pentecostal churches have been growing a lot in Latin America, Africa, and parts of Asia, and including the Philippines.
Okay.
So them going and preaching like the devil's out to get you.
He coming for you.
Yeah, basically he's coming for you. That fear factor was also part of the rise of now we need exorcisms.
Damn.
And in Brazil, another place where it's like on demand too. And I thought this is we are short staffed on our exorcisms. I think they may be like most things, you know, you can't get a fridge, you can't get your favorite bread, and you can't get your exorcisms. Like what the hell?
The pandemic. I mean, God damn it.
What did the pandemic do to all of us?
They're booked and through next year. What are we going to do? How are we going to exercise these fractures out of my fucking feet?
I don't know. We're screwed. But basically imagine you're in Brazil, you're on a trip, you went on a beautiful hike, and you're laying on your bed, and you're like, let me turn on the TV. I just need to relax and chill a little bit. And you're flipping through the channels. It would be not that bizarre if you flipped the channel and you found a televised pastor performing an exorcism.
Holy shit.
So he'd be like waving his hand over someone who's like, he's shouting like, your mother sucks cocks in hell. Get the demons out. And then the person.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
People are going to be like really theatrical, like collapsing to the floor. Oh my God, it got out of me. Thank God. The belief in demonic possession in America is actually up to 50%. So half of Americans, which we kind of already knew, half of Americans are crazy because half of them are like following the Trump party. So this isn't great, too mind-blowing. But 50% of those people, or 50%, so 1 out of every 2 people you walk by on the street believe in demonic possession.
Wait, I'm sorry. And what was that statistic? 2/3?
1 out of every 2 people.
Oh, so 1/3. Damn.
No, one out of every 2, 50%.
Holy
shit. 1 out of 2.
I do math.
So yeah, I can tell.
I'm a writer, y'all. Math is not my gift.
That was a little concerning there.
Again, words and letters over numbers always.
We're going to get her back into elementary school soon. The amount of people who believe in the devil, too, is growing. In 1990, only half of the percentage believed that the devil was real. Now in 2007, it is up to 70%. So quite a jump.
In a very short span of time, if you really think about it.
They said that all of people believing in a demon or like in the devil, this is another contributing factor to why exorcisms are becoming more popular, and because during the pandemic,
Mhm.
more people started believing the devil, and then therefore people wanted more exorcisms to be performed.
Well, also
And it
too,
was
like, sorry. So you know that Kanye lyric where I forgot the song, but it's the devil is alive, I can feel and breathe in. And it's like I've
mhm.
always thought of that because just because of all the horrible shit that goes on in the world. And like I always harken back to that lyric and thinking like, well, the evil has got to exist with all the horrific terrorism, the flood, like everything. Like there's evil, whether it's the devil or not. There's horrific things that happen that I would classify as evil, whether it's spiritual or not. Right? Just like that level of horror, you know, real life horror to me is evil, whether it's religious or not. So
Yeah, I agree, but I don't really think it's the devil. I just think some people are evil.
right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I agree
yeah,
with you.
yeah. And I mean, we all know from the pandemic, we were like experiencing stress. Everyone's
Mm-hmm.
anxiety was on the rise, so that's another contributing factor to why more people were thinking that, hey, my sister, my mom, they're probably like, I can't live with my mom. Was my mom always this evil growing up, or is she just possessed by the devil? I can't tell. I feel like there's probably a lot of that going on.
Oh my god.
They're like, I've been around my
Or your significant other.
yeah. You're like bitch of.
I don't
You're
know
like
anything about
man.
that.
You're like my husband's awful. You didn't realize because your husband was at work, would go out for drinks, and you didn't see him much. Now it's the pandemic. You're spending all this time with him. You're like he
Girl.
must be possessed by the devil.
Triggered.
Krista, do you need to perform an exorcism now? I thought this was crazy too. Several priests are coming forward stating that they are receiving the most requests that they ever have in like their history of being a priest. In 2018, one priest in Indianapolis basically was like, "Business is popping." He was a C-list celebrity in the exorcism world. He was trained in Rome, and now he is training a manual, or he published a training manual called the Rite, RIT.
Okay.
And he said he's like C-list. He's not like at the what I'm thinking of in Italy,
The Pope,
where the priest lives. The Pope. Well, the Pope doesn't perform them, but
he
people like
could.
that.
And also, there's a whole I don't call it secret society. It is maybe it's a secret society in Catholicism, at least, where they have to go to Rome to train. From what I understand, it's like a very, very much like Angels and Demons, Dan Brown type of situation, which is kind of cool. But also, don't be charging people for things that may or may not work or exist. So, I don't know.
Isn't that like their whole business module or model?
Yeah, I don't know. But
that's the whole business model. Going to church, God might not exist.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Also, I think I told you this in the past. My mom knew an exorcist, a priest, because she went to a Jesuit university for college, Fairfield U in Fairfield, Connecticut, and like they were all really cool, the priests. But one of them was Father. I forgot his name, Father something or other, but he was like known to perform exorcisms and was like one of the few in the United States that had that right, the RIT, right? So
I would not want to witness that. That would be terrifying because I'd be like, we need to get these people to the mental health hospital. Why are we indulging?
Well, you can't
in this
witness
right
it.
now.
Like it's a private thing. Like you can't. It's not like they do it.
Well, I don't want to. Don't invite me.
I won't because I won't be there.
I don't want to be invited because I think I would be terrified of like these people are batshit
Wait, bitch,
crazy.
you're not coming to my exorcism party? Ew.
No.
Bye, David. Oh, hey, Mom. I was just
think your
talking
mom
about
needs
the
you.
priest. Mom, what was the father that you knew that was an exorcist?
Father Trinkle.
Father Trinkle.
Father Trinkle.
Well, on cue, Barbenters. Yeah, Father Trinkle sounds like Tinkle. Can't even take it serious. Okay, Father Tinkle might be tinkling out some demons.
So, like Father Trinkle, he might be experiencing this right now. But priests are saying like their calendars are getting booked up with like exorcisms. Like their calendars getting filled up. And there's such a demand. Ching, ching, ching. The Catholic Church has been training new exorcists in Chicago, Rome, and Manila? Where the hell
That's
is
in
that?
the Philippines.
Oh,
Capital of
thanks.
Philippines, girl. Come on now.
Okay.
I thought you're an archaeologist. You should know your geography.
I skipped that day. I don't think I know. My geography skills are, I would say, mediocre. Probably not terrible, but not great.
Okay. Maybe you need to go back to middle school. I go back to elementary math and you go back to middle school geography.
Okay. In 2011, this tells you how much it's growing. So in 2011, there were only 15 trained Catholic exorcists. In 2018, it has grown to 100. So there's obviously a big demand there. Professor Joseph Laycock, which is another great name, from Texas State, said that performing an exorcism isn't always an innocent ritual, which I didn't know this, that they could be harmful. I just figured it was like them trying to yell at them, do stuff like from the movie. But he said a lot of exorcisms, this is where we get dark, which we always do on Bewitched Banter, is that a lot of exorcisms actually result in children dying.
Oh my God. Okay, that's a line.
Parents will try to force holy water or oil inside the child's mouth, and then they end up by accident suffocating the child.
Like waterboarding your own child. Oh.
I feel like that's why sometimes people are like, oh, well, it's innocent. But when you look into it more, half the time these supernatural things,
not in that sense, hell no,
end up not being innocent. They also sometimes enforce vomiting on an individual because they believe if the person's going to vomit, that they're going to expel the demon. So they literally force them to vomit. And that's sometimes where people get dehydrated
and die
and end up dying, which
Jesus
is like
Christ.
insane to me. He said that when this happened in the past, which the big organized churches, because of this as like an outcome, they like some of the government got involved and there's like regulations and reform in these churches of what was allowed to happen for these exorcisms. But obviously there's these small outliers and small churches. I should take that back. It wasn't the government. It's I guess it would be like leadership in the church.
Sure. And in many countries like Rome, well, Rome's not, it's a city-state, right? But in many of those very religious places, the church or whatever religion is the government, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah, but so those churches would get together and like, we killed little Bobby today. Should we keep doing this? And get together and like they would talk about different things to save the future Bobby who's possessed by the devil. But there's obviously...
But does real Bobby die?
I mean, sometimes.
That's so sad.
But there's small outliers in small churches that don't have any outlier because there's not really any sane person probably to come forward and be like, well, we shouldn't do this. I just can't believe that people die from it. That's just crazy to me.
Honestly, I didn't think that either, even though I'm like more familiar with it, like being raised Catholic, but I didn't think that it was ever that extreme, right? Because they don't want us to think that.
Exorcisms are so much on demand now. I thought this was hilarious that people are performing them through their cell phones.
Oh my God. Snapchat me.
I was like, I need a FaceTime that's priest, and he's going to teach me how to expel the demons out of my husband.
So there's an app for that, is what you're saying.
I don't think it's an app. I think it's like the priest would be like you FaceTime him, and he's like looking at your possessed like brother-in-law, and he's like through the phone telling it like getting the demons out of him.
So it's like telehealth for exorcisms, kind of.
Basically, yes. And I bet I didn't get into that far into it. I bet it probably started during the pandemic because they probably are like, how do we make money when we can't safely go to people's houses? I'm just speculating here, but that's how a lot of that remote virtual services started. And I can imagine because they said they were on like the demand for it was on the rise during the pandemic. So I can imagine they were like, well, how do we perform them if it's not safe for me to go to someone's house?
Right.
So that's probably when they started doing through the phone. But that's just me speculating, but sounds like a good logic to me.
I mean, well, do you know how much they charge, PS? Do you have any of that?
Holy shit, I should look. Let me Google that really quick because that's a great question. How much do they charge for an exorcism? Asking for a friend.
For meet this friend.
Oh, this is interesting. So, what do priests say when doing an exorcism? The Lord's Prayer, Hail Mary, and Athanasian Creed.
Apostolic Creed? That's what I know. I don't know the other one. I don't know what Phasian is.
Well, I don't know shit about fuck, so I would have to do a little digging. But that is a great question. Basically, what's popping up is like there's no set fee.
So they could charge whatever the hell they want.
I mean, how long does an exorcism take?
It's, well, from my experience. No, from the movie at least. In other movies, not just The Exorcist, others that depict exorcisms are like
Because
multiple.
movies are so real.
No, but I'm saying like they have multiple visits, right, to probably recoup the recurring fees. So it's not just like one-time situation, depending on how bad the demon is or how
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess like when we do a deep dive into actually exorcism, like the history, we could look into like cost. I think that's a great question though.
Yeah.
So the movie is based on a book from 1921, and I don't know if most people know this. It's probably common knowledge, but it's supposed to be like a historical account. So like a real quote unquote story. A German psychologist collected eyewitnesses to retell the story of Magdalene. She lived in Germany, and she grew up in a family as a peasant. And as a child, she started to hallucinate and see strange things.
Okay, there's also probably some mental health.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
She was often hearing voices. She felt like she was assaulted by a spirit.
Oh, aren't we talking about sex ghosts?
Didn't plan
Wait, I
on
thought
it,
you read an
but-
article about it recently.
Oh, I was watching on a news clip yesterday about this lady's like thinks she's being haunted by sexual ghosts. It kind of went viral.
I gotta check that
And
out.
she said that.
What's up?
She said it was. I was cracking up. She was like, "Yeah, I heard him just say harder, harder. That feels good," or something along those lines. And I was like, "Man, woman, you're like screaming to get laid."
I was
Like,
about to
are you
say
that
that's
desperate?
more thirsty than me. That's hard to do.
Yeah, talent there.
That's why. Thank you for that compliment.
But back to old Magdalene, people came forward and said that she burst into flames. Long story short, somehow, even through the flames, she was saved by an exorcism. And that is what inspired William Peter's book, The Exorcist, which inspired the movie. And that's really why The Exorcist had such a grip hold on our country and other cultures, is because it was the idea of this is a real story.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on real events.
Mm-hmm.
For the majority of the 20th century, exorcism was very rare, and it was something that wasn't approved. It wasn't always approved by the Catholic Church.
Yeah, that's kind of what my mom used to say to us. She said that Father Trinkle wasn't supposed to ever talk about it, and they would always try to ask and like poke for stories because we're all curious, obviously, hence the movies and book. And he was like, it was like against talking about it.
Yeah, it was like a no-no. You're not supposed to do it. In 1973, after the movie was released, several priests came forward and stated demons don't exist and that they did not agree with the practice of performing an exorcism. But now we know like they have a complete 360 different attitude towards exorcisms. The big pivotal moment where they kind of displayed this behavior was in 1991. The Catholic Church performed an exorcism on ABC.
Oh, like the network. Wow.
The father, Richard, his name is Richard P.
Tinkleton.
I heard voices for a second.
Ooh, bitch, you need an exorcism now? Amy needs to be exorcised. Call Father Trinkle.
The father, Richard P. McBrien, later appeared on Nightline and was questioned, basically like, why did the church do this? Because I didn't think you agreed with it. He said it was to build a political agenda and said, and now I'm going to use a quote. He said the following: "The real objective of that project, I submit, was to help bring back that old-time religion when everyone, women especially, knew their place. When Catholics obeyed without question every directive from on high, and when there was never any question that the Catholic Church was the one true church with all their answers to the important questions we have about life, both here and hereafter. And fuck Father Richard P. McBrien.
I was so
Where
triggered
women-
immediately when you said where women knew their place. I was like, girl, okay, just gonna calm down.
Exactly. I was like, she's
I'm
gonna.
calm down.
I saw you trying to calm yourself. You're like, I'm gonna let her finish her quote.
I did. You knew it. You saw my thought bubble. So just let her read.
Yep. So fuck him.
Mhm.
Moral of the story.
Mhm.
The church changing their attitude about exorcisms has little or nothing to do with understanding mental illness or like scientific advances, but actually has to do with leadership. There was like a big in the Catholic Church, they were fighting about what the vision should be for the
Mhm.
church. There was a meeting held in 1962, and Catholic bishops discussed if they needed to, like, basically, should we downplay supernatural elements? Should they be part of the discussion at church? They were worried that these controversial practices, not only just exorcisms, but anything that's occult and has to do with the supernatural, was going to scare off followers.
Mhm. Mhm.
But then on the flip side, there was other bishops who were like, we need to modernize. One side's like, that's embarrassing. You're scaring people off. And other people are like, no, that's what people want. And people believe we need to discuss this. This needs to be part of the church and the conversation. And we should perform different rituals. So it's like this argument of like, where should the church move? And how do we keep our followers? How do we not scare people off? What's on trend?
Well, here's a
How
hot
should we
take.
move forward?
Don't rape little boys or little girls. Just a thought. Maybe don't do that.
A lot.
You know, maybe don't scare them off that way. You know.
And I think part of the reason it was such a big conversation is because this is when you had spiritualism on the rise.
Okay.
So people are really interested in the cult. And it's the same time the movie's being released. And that's just kind of all these different factors in play of why they're having these conversations.
So I almost feel like you'd be on the side of don't do it because it's wrong. Like don't make a fool of us, even though you're not a believer, obviously. You'd be on that camp where I'd be like PR hype, go for it.
Oh, the like where the Catholic Church should move forward with. I mean,
you'd say no because
that-
you were like, that's just wrong. I'd be like, well, it's a great PR stunt. So
I would really be questioning the leadership if they invited me on their committee. I'd be like, wow.
Can you
You want
imagine?
me to have a voice? I would I'd be like, what about this? We just cancel all the Catholic churches. I'd be very popular.
Oof. They would try to exercise your ass immediately.
I'd be like, let's like shut them down and make them homeless centers or places for the community. So I would not be very popular. I don't think I'd be invited on the committee, basically. The majority of, I don't know how they know this, but they said the majority of conservative Catholics loved the movie.
Interesting.
And this kind of gets back to intent. Sometimes it's like, what is their intent? Is it good intent? But of course, doesn't have to really do with what's best for their followers. It had more to do with wanting to make money. And there was also lots of, how do you get money? You get more followers. So the Catholic Church was in this time where there was starting to be a lot of competition. Where there was
Hey,
starting
we
to
need
be a
to
lot
sign
of
up for that
competition.
model. Just saying.
I guess we'll start performing exorcisms to get some followers. We should make a video of us trying to do that. It'd be pretty funny. But if a person wanted an exorcist, so for Granny, right? Granny Carol.
Baskins.
She needs an exorcism to be performed in the Catholic churches and offering them. So where am I going to go? I'm going to go to the Pentecostal church.
Okay.
Because they have been doing it on the regs for decades. They are regulars. They know what's up.
Oh, geez.
They know how to perform this thing, flip it down and reverse it, get that
okay.
demon out of me. The Catholics are like, well, no, we don't want the Pentecostals getting all our money. We need bags and bags and bags of money.
Even though they have like the
So
wealthiest motherfucking archives in the Vatican, but whatever. No big deal.
Well, look at the Pope's goddamn hat or like crown.
I mean,
or
yeah,
whatever it
the
is.
jewels, they have gold that they stole from cultures all times over the world. I mean, they have a very They ate for wealth. We're good.
I want my money and I want it now. Perform that exorcism, bitch.
It's my money and I want my exorcism now.
Exactly. So they're like, okay, we got to get on board because we're losing followers and we want that moolah.
Mm-hmm.
The International Association of Exorcists was formed in 1990, and this was to help the Vatican to take exorcisms more seriously. In 2004, the Vatican's asked for a diocese. Is that how you say it?
Diocese, yep.
Diocese?
Well, so
Yeah.
plural diocese, singular diocese.
Yeah, I've never used that word before. To appoint an official exorcist. In 2005, they started offering special courses at the Vatican. It also has been proven that offering the service of an exorcism is a great way to convert people into their religion. So not even like I guess like maybe if you were of another faith and then you think Granny's possessed, 911, I gotta call the Pope over, or probably not the Pope, you know what I mean, but pastor or priest.
Demons
And
calling
so they come over
on the dance floor.
and then all of a sudden, Granny is doing great. She's fabulous. She's happy. She's not possessed anymore. And now you have a new follower. We're like, well, they were so good. They saved Granny. Let's go be Catholic now. They'd be like, you saved me from the devil. God bless you. And that is exorcisms on the rise.
Popping
So
off.
let us know. Do you want to learn more? Do you want to know about Hinduism? Do you want to know about like Sikhism? We got to go into those cultures and learn what they
I
think
would
of the
love
devil.
to. Sign me up. We're doing it. Yeah, I didn't realize because I thought they were a thing of the past. Like I really did, just based on the anecdote I shared about my mom saying that they were like hush hush, nobody talks about them, and I don't know, it's just wild that they popping off. So
I feel like we should have known better though, because let's think about how crazy everyone is.
You're so right.
Like people are batshit crazy, so why wouldn't people be doing crazy shit?
Valid point. People have lost their damn minds in the last 2 years, more acutely than the last 10.
Well, I think we're just more aware because more people tweet about it, post on social media, or like people see someone being insane, like a Karen, and record it. So I think people have been crazy forever. It's just now that we're more aware.
More access to the crazy. I dig that. Yep.
Because they might have been like hanging out like in the middle of nowhere, and I wouldn't know they were crazy. But now through the internet, I have access to all crazy people.
Yeah, that's on demand. To your point. So.
And it's
fascinating
if I want to.
Like to watch crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good job. I still need my ankles exercised, so maybe we can do that for Halloween.
I will perform a ritual for you.
We have a new little segment, which TBD name, but I'm going with Badass Bitchery Hour.
I was kind of going toot beep beep something.
Toot beep beep.
I don't know.
What do you have a toot beep beep woman to pop off? Actually, do you want to explain toot beep beep pop off?
Yes, exactly. So I was thinking the other day, I was at my cult meeting, Orange Theory, and I had this moment because apart from this week, I'm taking a week off, but
You're killing it.
Other than that, I've been killing it lately, and I was thinking about how proud of myself I am. I've been really committing to getting my ass to the gym because we all know when you work, it's really hard to get yourself there. And I've been very consistent and I feel really like strong and healthy. And I was like running on the treadmill, which I never thought I'd be running. And I was like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. And then I had this whole like light bulb moment that as women, we're generally taught not to, and I would say men probably the same, but women a lot taught to be quiet,
polite,
be smaller, be polite, be smaller, don't brag on yourself. To end our episode, because we want to end it on a positive note because we tend to cover dark shit if you haven't noticed yet. But I was thinking we could do like where we either brag on ourselves or brag on someone locally or just some feel good story that has to do with a woman. And when we first started doing our podcast, we were very proud of ourselves due to because it's been a journey, wild ride. We talk about it a lot, but we've been through hell and back with technical shit, testing our limits, and just the bravery to put ourselves out there in the first place, because it is scary, just putting yourself out there and thinking Does everyone think I'm dumb? I'm not hearing much. Are you dumb? Are you dumb as fuck? But on my long rant here, I'm basically saying we wanted to end it with like either a brag on ourselves, because we all need to work on being more confident and celebrating the small things in life of like, because damn, life can be exhausting sometimes. We're in this rat race, or we pick someone. So that is my long explanation of where we're going. And Krista, I will stop talking now. What was your thing?
I will just add that, you know, we're obviously both feminists. If you didn't already know, now you know. But should be fairly clear if you listen to us. And yes, everyone deserves to be like raised up, right? Everybody. But as a whole, to me, this is about womanhood, sisterhood, feminism, like badass bitches that we are. And it's so hard for, we talk about this too. This is my little rant, that we as creatives and just as females, you and I have always struggled with self-confidence in our arts, whatever it be. Obviously, you're a visual artist and I'm more a writer. And we finally are getting to this point of like owning our creativity and just like putting ourselves out there, just as you said. And it feels really fucking good. And I'm just so happy to do anything to support other women. So essentially women supporting women, and I'm fucking here for it. So that said, this is a gimme this week, but I had the absolute blessing of seeing Lizzo be eating in concert in Chicago. And this was post the foot fractures PS. I love this woman so much. I walked up to the very top like rafters of United Center where the Bulls play just to see her while my feet were broken. I didn't give a shit. I was going to see her hell or high water, and I did. And it was a religious experience. I mean, just her messaging of positivity and self-love and self-care for all women and everybody in general is just like, wow, blew me away. And I'm just so reinvigorated. And I'm just so, I don't know, it's part of my happy chiming in earlier about my meditation and just looking at life to be thankful. So Miss Lizzo, that's what's up.
Not being such an emo bitch.
Not being such an emo bitch. Life is beautiful. It really is. And I'm really blessed. So thank you, Lizzo, for that reminder, and seeing you in person really just made that point very.
So is that your bragging moment?
My bewitched brag? Yes. How about yours?
Cool. I'm gonna go simple today, and just that I thought of this idea.
Fuck yeah, own it.
Anyway, yeah, that would be my bragging moment. But if you guys have your own personal accomplishment, no matter how small, we'd love to hear it, share it, because we'd love to shout out our friends and read them on air. Tell us what you're accomplishing. And if you're a guy too,
anyone,
you are welcome.
Please, everyone is welcome.
But we just want to celebrate the good things in life, because in Bewitched Banter, we do tend to get dark, but we won't lie. Sometimes the dark shit's really fascinating.
I mean, hence our morbid attraction to true crime and all this occult shit. But yeah, like Amy said, email us at bewitchedbanter.com if you want to brag on yourself, your mom, your sister, your brother, whomever, your partner. Shout us out. Let us know. And let us know about the incredible things that you are doing or the people around you are doing to help lift yourself and others up, because that's what it should be all about. So bewitchedbanter@gmail.com and Bewitched Banter podcast on all of the socials.
And also, again, we are begging you, please rate, review, subscribe. You have 2 minutes today. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review. It'd mean a lot to us.
Preach.
Well, on that note, should we sign off? But we should tease what's next week's coming.
Yes, we have Haunted Hollywood, which was a little bit of a redo for me since I'm a little bit. Last time I tried reading my Hollywood story, but it's
what was woo woo mean?
Hi, a little bit. Couldn't.
I was like, what's woo woo?
Couldn't read. So I have.
You were reading. You were just. I don't know what planet you were on. But anyway,
right. So Haunted Hollywood, and this is a story that is tied to the Black Dahlia. It is not her case. It is something and someone very closely related to that and the very hot topic of abortion right now. So stay tuned for that next week, and I'm really excited to share it with y'all.
Be smart, bitches.
And peace, bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Email us at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast edited and produced by Krista Hins and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.